But anyways, hello everyone, it's Colby, and today I'm joined with my buddy Philip again.
Yeet!
Yeet. And and today we are going to go over all of the Warlock subclasses. One of the most unique high-level casters. I'm not a big fan of playing it, but I absolutely love it for the roleplay. And I think I'm actually full of shit because my rankings for these subclasses are like pretty high, like skewed towards the S and the A tier. I don't know about you, Philip.
They were, and then I kind of like shifted everything down one.
Ah, okay. You were like,
Like
it was
when
too positive.
when I started at the top, I was like, oh, these are good because I just love Warlock. I was like, yeah, but like two of them, in my opinion, are like a cut above the rest. So then I just kind of like shifted the whole pack down one.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's like I'd be down to play any of them if I'm honest.
Oh yeah. So don't forget to like and subscribe, of course. We've done all of these we're doing all the subclasses. We have done the majority of them already. We just need to do, well, Warlock, Paladin, Ranger, and Sorcerer left. So check out all of those other videos if you want to hear us talk about all of the other subclasses. It's been quite the journey and honestly a lot of fun. Philip and I just enjoy doing these subclasses. We learn a lot, get to appreciate the good ones, and shit on the really bad ones, which are down here in D tier.
It's a bad word.
Yeah, I know. This is a not safe for kids channel now. I said shit 3 times. But anyways, God forbid if I say fuck. But anyways.
Took the Lord's name in vain too?
Did I?
Yeah.
Yeah, this channel's definitely gone downhill. So these subclass rankings, it is all very subjective. It's what we would want to play if we're going to play this class. So don't think this is like some damage dealing tier list. This isn't a roleplay tier list. This is very much our opinion. Philip and I are combining our tier list, so this is, you know, the official Excited Cave tier list. Yours is probably going to look very different. If you want to do this tier list, it's going to take you a while. I think there's like 230 subclasses, but...
No?
What? 120. 120, yeah. I said the wrong 100. 120 subclasses. The link to this tier list is in the description. And make sure while you're down there, tell us why we are wrong or why we are correct. And we'll tell you that you're wrong. Except if you say we're correct. But let's get into it.
I love Warlock.
Yeah. I'm not a big fan of them, but I think I'm going to have to give them a try.
I love Warlock. They're fun.
Let's start with the Archfey then.
B.
Yeah, I think I put that as B as well. It's, you know, one of the big factors with Warlocks is going to be that roleplay aspect because you have a patron. So, like, it's very easy for a DM and yourself to kind of weave that into the roleplay of the world. And for me, you know, I just don't want to have, like, a Fae as my patron. That doesn't really excite me that much. But I'm also not much of, like, a Fae walker kind of person, nature like D&D player.
But that 6th level ability.
The 6th level ability, Misty Escape. Yes, that one's pretty awesome. So as your reaction at 6th level, you can turn invisible and teleport up to 60 feet when you take damage. And you remain invisible until the start of your next turn. And it recharges at a short or long rest, which is pretty nice.
Warlocks are built around short rest.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a Warlock in your party, you're short resting all the time. Ideal party composition, you get a Warlock, a Cleric, and a Fighter. Because you get Channel Divinity back on short rest, you get Action Surge back on short rest, and Warlock gets spell slots back on short rest. So like,
yeah,
everybody's just down a short rest all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Misty Escape is why it went to B and not C for me.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Like the spells are okay. Like I like
They're
Blink
fine.
and Plant Growth, and
Phantasmal Force is fun.
yeah, absolutely. And like Calm Emotions is useful, but it's not really my favorite spell.
Yeah.
Not my type of spell I like.
If I'm honest, expanded spell list, I don't care too much about. Because warlocks get Mystic Arcanum.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
So
that's fair
at
enough.
11th level, you get to pick just a spell.
Yeah.
And then again, a 13th, 15th, 17th. That's how you get the higher level spells, is with
Mhm.
Mystic Arcanum. And it's a bigger list, and it doesn't expand a spell list to use it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like the expanded spell lists are certainly useful. Like you don't get a lot of spell slots, so unless it's a really good item in the expanded spell list, like the warlock spells aren't bad.
Yeah. So the rest of this, I would say, is pretty just okay. Fey Presence is kind of nice. It is disappointing that it's like a 10-foot cube originating from you, because how much are you like really like you're not trying to be upfront with enemies. I guess it's kind of like an oh shit moment, but you know, as soon as your allies are next to it, you know, you might risk charming or frightening them. I guess charming doesn't really matter. You can choose to charm or frighten them.
Charming is useful. If you charm someone, they're not going to attack you.
Yeah, it's true. And I guess if you charm your allies, I thought that would be a detriment, but if you charm your allies, they're already charmed, probably.
Yeah, charming
So-
your allies doesn't do anything.
No, it doesn't.
Frightening your allies does.
I corrected myself as I was explaining why I didn't like it, so.
Yeah. Well, and warlock is a spellcaster that gets armor. It's light armor, but it's still armor. And
Yeah.
you get d8s as your hit points. So you're sturdier than a sorcerer or a wizard.
Mm-hmm. And like beguiling defenses is pretty nice. When another creature attempts to charm you, you can use your reaction to charm them back. It's very situational, which is kind of disappointing. I almost would have liked if like they just made it like someone tries to cast a spell on you, you can charm them back. That's too much?
That's too much.
No? Okay. I feel like there's a way
the thing about warlocks is if you play a warlock, you need a DM that's ready for someone to be playing a warlock. Warlock is very, very heavily dependent on the DM. Because like if I am playing an Archfey warlock and we're playing a long game, I want there to be something to do with that Archfey that is my patron.
Yeah, that's true.
At some point in the game. And if that never happens, then, you know, it's kind of whatever. Beguiling defenses. If no one ever tries to charm you, what's the point of the ability? And who's the one that is charming you? The DM.
Mm-hmm. It goes into
So,
that...
every subclass, it matters what campaign you're in and your DM and everything. But Warlock in particular.
Yeah. So let's put this one as a solid B. We both agreed on that, and try to find one that we disagree on.
Celestial's a C for me.
Yeah, I was gonna put this one higher, but then I just thought about it a little bit more. I think I was gonna put it as an A, and then I just disliked it the more that I read about it.
I don't dislike it. I'd be down to play one, but I'd be down to play like most other warlocks.
Yeah, and it's true. It's like if you're gonna play a celestial warlock, I mean, you could always just play like a clerk, and then you can heal way better than this. I mean, healing light is great, to be honest. I really like it.
Well, but it is different than a cleric, though, because you do have all the regular warlock spells.
Yeah.
Like this is the healer light, the warlock healer. Like it is different, and it does come into the roleplay because like your patron could be a unicorn. And I'm not even joking about that.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
You know, like it's just so different because playing a cleric, you're getting your magic from a god, not just a celestial being like a Kirin or a unicorn or a Pegasus.
Yeah.
Which I think is cool.
And I do think the spell list is pretty good, what it gives you. Wall of Fire, greater and lesser restoration are helpful. Flaming Sphere, Revivify, Guiding Bolt. And then with Radiant...
Something to remember about Warlocks is like their spell slot level only goes up to 5th, other than the Mystic Arcanum. Like half-casters, you get it there at the same time as a full cast.
Right.
So get up to your max way quicker. And then you're able to actually use it. Like this expanded spell list, you get up to it quickly.
Yeah,
you actually get access to all these quickly. Like the expanded spell list on Rangers or Paladins, you never even see most of them.
Yeah, that's true.
These you actually get.
Yeah. Like, Radiant Soul is nice until you realize that, like, you're a Warlock and you're likely going to be using Eldritch Blast. I know you can change it. I know you can do other, like, not change it, but you don't have to use Eldritch Blast, but as a Warlock, I'm going to be using Eldritch Blast, unfortunately.
Well, yeah, but this is for spells.
Yeah.
So you can just take Radiant or Fire spells for your spell slots, and then Eldritch Blast as your go-to, like, because you get Flaming Sphere, that's fire damage. Guiding Bolt.
Yeah, all the spells are definitely...
You know, there is reasons, and this does improve things, because like there is an Eldritch Invocation that allows you to add your Charisma modifier to Eldritch Blast. I think it's Agonizing Blast.
Yeah, that sounds
So this basically just does that for spells, which is really useful. Having that guaranteed +4, +5 on top of your damage, that's not something most casters get.
Yeah, and I guess, like, for the example of, like, the flaming sphere, I guess it says against one of its targets, so if you do an AoE thing, it is limited to only being added to one of the targets, which is fair enough.
Still,
it would probably get out of hand.
Yeah, well, and you also get resistance to radiant damage. So
yes, you do.
Also useful. But then at 10th level, you get temp hit points. And the temp hit points is enough to be worth it. And you give temp hit points to all your friends too.
I think that's what makes it really worth it as a 10th level ability. It's, you know, that support aspect.
What makes it really worth it to me is that it's on a short rest.
Yeah, that's actually awesome.
So if you have a +4 charisma, let's say, plus your warlock level at 10th level, that's 14 temp hit points for you, 7 and 9 for everyone else.
Yeah.
That's not bad. For just having a short rest. Like, temp hit points doesn't stack, so 9 is one of the better amounts of temp hit points that any of the classes can give.
And on a short rest, which is...
Yeah, so you can get it pretty easily.
Yeah, and then at 14th level, you get Searing Vengeance, so when you make a death saving throw at the start of your turn, you can instead spring back to your feet with a burst of radiant energy. You gain hit points equal to half your hit point maximum, which is pretty awesome. You can stand up, and each creature around you of your choice takes 2d8 plus your charisma modifier in radiant damage, and is blinded. That's pretty cool thematically. Like, you get knocked down and you come back up in a blaze of light. And it's not immediately,
I get
too.
knocked down, and I get up again.
Careful, don't want to get demonetized here.
You're not monetized.
True. Goals, but true. Also hurtful.
It's just true.
You really gonna hurt me like that, eh?
Yeah, with my Searing Vengeance.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what'd be fun?
What?
Multi-class this with a Zealot Barbarian.
Yeah, that's true.
That'd be fun.
Yeah. Well, let's put this at C and move on to Fathomless. What did you put? Where did you put Fathomless?
B.
Yeah, I put it as... I actually put it at higher at A.
I put it in B. I put it in B because there's 2 that I have in A that I very much want to play more than this.
Okay.
And 2 in S that I want to play literally anytime.
Yeah.
So
that's
that's
fair.
why this one dropped down for me.
I just really liked it in terms of, the mechanics. I mean, thematically, it's nice too. Your patron is an entity of the ocean, which in the right campaign could have some like insanely cool. Like if you're landlocked, I guess it could be a little bit less interesting. But if this is a water-based campaign, the story around you could be really cool.
Yeah.
And then the abilities, like being able to summon like a tentacle that you can control as a bonus action, do like different things with is cool.
And you get Bigby's hand, and it appears as a tentacle, not a hand.
Yeah, I like that little bit of change.
Like, you could just do that anyway, but I just like that they have it there just to like a little bit of inspiration for you.
Oh yeah, it's harmless to like just put that little 4 words that just changes a spell to, it doesn't make it overpowered, it just makes it so much better. I wish they did that more.
Big thing of this class is in the right campaign, it would be S easily. But in the wrong campaign, it's B. Like, could you, if you were playing a desert game, and you roll up with this character, what are you doing?
Yeah, well, it wouldn't really like limit you mechanically, would it? It would just be roleplay.
Swimming speed doesn't matter. Breathing underwater doesn't matter. Cold damage probably won't happen in a desert. Being able to teleport to the water probably won't help you.
Oh yeah, the 14th level is actually a little bit disappointing to me because
it's kind of cool though.
I'd be annoyed if someone teleported me into a lake. Like, unless I'm like gonna die, it's like, could I not be swimming?
You would know that your friend could do this, and it's not like you're going to the middle of it.
That's true, but it is a 14th level ability.
Yeah, but it's a free get out of dodge for you and 5 others.
If there's water. It has to be a pond size or larger. It can't just be like a puddle of water.
Yeah, but you just get yourself an endless water thing, and then you just make ponds whenever you're about to go into a dungeon.
Yeah, that's fair. I guess I just feel like it should be more like a 10th level thing than a 14th level. But it's not really that big of an argument.
You're never going to play that high anyway.
We've both admitted we do like this. It's just, definitely depending on the campaign.
Yeah, I like the expanded spell list more than most others, just because I like Thunder and Lightning magic, and I love Bigby's hand.
Yeah, exactly. So I put this as an A. You put this as a B.
Yeah.
You said this could be an S, right?
Yeah, in the right campaign, but like this would be a great class if you're playing a pirate campaign or something, or like a seafaring or island hopping. But like if you're just in like a bog standard game, not as good.
Yeah.
I'd
still play this over an Archfey, so I'd like to have it in A, if you're okay with that.
Sure, I don't really care.
Okay. Well, let's talk about the Fiend then.
A.
Yeah, I put it in A as well.
Yeah. Dark One's Blessing, always useful.
Yep, you gain temporary hit points equal to your charisma modifier plus your warlock level.
Yeah, they got a good spell list.
When you kill someone, that's a decent amount.
The expanded spell list is good. Yeah, warlocks are usually the damage dealers of the group. So
Yeah, I know. That's more than like the long death monk, which is supposed to be like the tanky monk, and they only get. I think my monk only gets like 7 HP, 10 temporary hit points. I can't remember what it's based off of. It's like your proficiency bonus, something like that. I feel like that should absolutely instead be your warlock, not warlock level, your monk level. But anyways,
Dark One's own luck is fine.
Yeah,
Just fine.
It's good. Like when I say good, it's just in the middle, not offensive.
It's just fine.
Yeah.
Fiendish Resilience is amazing.
It is. Being able to choose one damage type that you gain resistance to is pretty great.
Every short rest you can change it. So if you know you're about to go fight a white dragon, you can short rest beforehand and switch it to cold. And then, oh no, there's a red dragon that we have to go fight now. Switch it to fire.
Yeah. And Hurl Through Hell is...
I love Hurl Through Hell.
It's like probably my favorite ability I've ever read.
Yeah.
To be honest. Like it makes me think of what Doctor Strange does to Loki in Thor Ragnarok, although, instead it's in hell, which is way worse.
I think it's more like what the Sorcerer Supreme does to Doctor Strange.
Right. That makes more sense. So to explain it to anyone that doesn't know, starting at 14th level, when you hit a creature with an attack, and you're a warlock, you're shooting how many Eldritch Blasts? Like, you're gonna hit someone with an attack.
At that point, 3, I think? Maybe 4?
So you can use this feature to instantly teleport the target through the lower planes. The creature disappears and hurtles through a nightmare landscape. At the end of your next turn, the target returns to the space it previously occupied. And if it's not a fiend, it takes 10d10 psychic damage as it reels from its horrific experience. Which is just
There's
so
no
fun.
saving throw.
No, there's no saving throw.
It just happens.
10d10 psychic damage. That can't be halved in any way. Like you said, there's no roll. And it also disables them for like a whole turn. Like they lose a turn in this because it's at the end of your next turn.
Yep.
So it's amazing.
It's so good. It is a 14th level, which it should be. Just, I don't know, but like, how often do you play a 14th level warlock?
Yeah, and once per long rest.
It should be at 14th level because 10d10 psychic damage is so much.
Yeah,
for
absolutely.
free to just do.
So
and psychic damage is like the least resistant damage type in the game.
Yeah,
you could do this to Tiamat. She's a fiend, but you'd get a free turn to like get ready for her because it still sends her through. She just doesn't take the damage.
Yeah, it's such an amazing ability. I think Fiend is an easy A. We both agreed on that. And then let's move on to Genie, which I was surprised how much I like this one.
Genie's great. A.
Yeah. Like one thing I really like about the Genie is, I like versatility and options in a lot of subclasses. And this one,
you're gonna say that.
Of course, I love the word versatility. I've probably said in these subclass videos 5 times a video, but just being able to choose the element of your Genie and have it affect your spells, your expanded spell list, have it affect all of your abilities as well, is just cool, and it adds a little bit of like unique roleplay. I would like to be some sort of a Ganassi and then like be paired like a fire Ganassi with a fire Genie, and then you're like doubling down on just like everything fire, Maybe it's your dad or something that's in the vessel.
Yeah, absolutely. Genie's just good.
And I looked at these, I was like thinking of like which ones would be the worst one, and like I think there are some that are better than the other, but yeah, they're all good. I'd be fine with all of them.
Yeah,
spell lists are great.
Yeah, well, and it's just the different elemental types. At 6th level, you get resistant to your patron's type. So obviously, fire is going to be the most useful, then cold, and then thunder. But still, they're all super useful.
Yeah. And
also, you get a line speed of 30 feet for 10 minutes. That's just always useful.
Can use it a number of times equal to your proficiency boner as not boner. Wow, Freudian slip. This is really gonna be demonetized. We are singing licensed songs, swearing, and saying the word boner. Crazy. What a change.
This is we.
You're the one that sung the song.
I kept it under 3 seconds. We're good.
Okay, that's the rule.
I don't know. The YouTuber.
Okay. So anyway,
I like Sanctuary Vessel.
Yeah, I like it too. As a bonus,
just useful.
You can just put people in it, and then like 10 minutes in it counts as a short rest, which is perfect as a warlock. You can make a short rest into 10 minutes.
Yeah. You could take a short rest faster than a ritual spell.
Yeah, the hit dice get more effective as well when they're in your little vessel.
Yep.
It's great.
And Limited Wish is cool.
Yep. You request the effect of one spell that is 6th level or lower and has a casting time of 1 action, so you can basically cast any 6th level or lower spell.
It's any spell.
Yep.
And you don't need any requirements, including components, even if it's monetary value. It just happens.
Yep. And like the restriction is rather interesting. I've never seen them do a 1d4 long rest, but I think it's fitting for Limited Wish. Like, I don't think it's too much.
I like it.
Yes. Let's put Genie in just an all-around solid subclass. It actually makes me want to play it, to be honest. But let's move on to the great old one.
C.
Yeah, I had it at C as well. It did not excite me that much.
I love it for roleplay because Cthulhu is cool. I've always liked that mythos, but the abilities are pretty meh.
Yeah, Awakened Mind is, kind of cool for roleplay. You can telepathically speak.
Very useful.
Yeah. But I wish there was an extra little bit of combat in there too. I think it wouldn't be overpowered if they had another 1st level ability that just gives something for combat.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you don't need too much for combat. This is what Greg was.
Oh, I know. I recognize this. We've played a long campaign with, we were DMing and I was playing with a warlock like this. And he was great to play with. Him being able to speak to anyone, it's pretty helpful to have in your party.
Very helpful. Yeah, and it just... If someone at 10th level, someone deals psychic damage to you, they also take the same amount of damage. Useful. Yeah. Doesn't come up much.
No.
Like, I would say if you are this type, just, kindly remind your DM about the ability. It's like, it's hard to remember everybody's abilities. So like something like this where it's very specific, just remind your DM that you have it. Even just like talk about it at the table when things are happening, and then they'll think about it, because it's not easy to remember that kind of thing. And psychic damage is hard to find, so you'd have to find a specific encounter to pull in to actually do this.
You're definitely right there. And like Entropic Ward is helpful for sure. You can, when a creature makes an attack roll against it, you can use your reaction to impose disadvantage. And if you make the miss, your next attack roll against the creature has advantage, which is helpful. Absolutely.
Yeah. It needs to be... I think you need to be able to do it more than once.
Yeah, I'd say so. Equal to your proficiency bonus would be perfectly fine.
Because this ability is just the spell Silvery Barbs. Worse.
That's true.
I don't like Silvery Barbs. I think it's too strong for its spell level. Like, this ability is the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that it should be your proficiency.
Yeah, absolutely. And then create Thrall. You gain the ability to infect the humanoid's mind with the alien magic of your patron. You can touch an incapacitated humanoid. That creature is then charmed by you. So what, you touch a dead person? No, that's not even... Is a dead person incapacitated? No, it's not.
Oh, wait.
They become...
Oh, wait. In Baldur's Gate 3, on the flying ship at the beginning, those people that are, like, helping mind flayers, those are thralls.
Fair enough.
Essentially what this is.
I see. That doesn't excite me that much. So, I think we both agreed, though. Great old one.
Yeah, like, mind flayers are based off the Cthulhu mythos. And
yeah, makes sense that they would have it. And if you're into Cthulhu, this is pretty cool. I wouldn't be a big fan of having it as my patron, to be honest, but...
I think that it can be really fun if you have the right DM.
Yeah. So...
It's like, this would be a really fun one playing a game of mine. Because I just like that.
Yeah, you really played into his warlockness as a great old one really well, so... Makes sense. Let's move on to probably the S rank, the Hexblade.
Nah, man, D.
Oh yeah, we're doing this just like we did it to the Totem Warrior?
No, it's S, obviously.
Okay, it's definitely an S. That's so good.
If I'm honest, I think that Hexblade shouldn't exist, and Pact of the Blade should just be what this is. So that any of the patrons can, like, be a spell sword.
That'd be cool.
Like not quite as much as this, obviously, but like make Pact of the Blade better.
Yeah.
And get rid of this.
Absolutely.
I think that would be better in my opinion.
So anyone that doesn't...
I still like it, though.
Anyone that doesn't know the Hexblade, this is basically the melee warlock, and they do it so well. The spell lists really reflect that melee-likeness. Melee-likeness? That's not a word. But anyways. The Hexblade, you get shield, you get blur, you get blink, you get those defensive spells, then you get your offensive ones, you get smites, multiple smites, almost every single spell level you get a smite to use. I think the expanded spell list is good. Not amazing, I think it's good, it fits well.
Also, there's a couple Eldritch invocations you can only take as Hexblade, which are very good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because it just improves your weapon.
Makes sense.
Or no, you can only take it with Pact of the Blade, sorry.
Ah, okay.
Like, if you're Hexblade and you're not taking Pact of the Blade, what are you doing?
Yeah, absolutely. So, with the Hexblade, you have the Hexblade's Curse. So, as a bonus action, you can choose one creature you can see within 30 feet of you and curse them, which gives you all sorts of advantages that are all just great. You gain bonus to damage rolls against that cursed target equal to your proficiency bonus. You can crit with a 19 or a 20. And if they die, you regain hit points equal to your warlock level.
Yeah.
It's just great.
It's like Hunter's Mark.
Yeah, absolutely. With Hex Warrior, you gain proficiency with medium armor, shields, and martial weapons, making you a little bit tankier. And
honestly, it's all you need, because if you're playing a Hexblade, you should probably be Dex-based for your combat. Because you still need Charisma. And using Dex is better than Strength, just because Dex also affects your AC. You can kind of two birds with one stone, so you only need Dex, Con, and Charisma instead of Strength, Dex, Con, Charisma.
Yeah, it's absolutely better for that extra AC bonus.
Yeah.
It is nice that with Hex Warrior you can use your Charisma modifier instead of Strength or Dexterity.
Yeah.
But
It is good to have that option. Also, just it's better to put into Dex than Strength because it affects your AC.
Yeah, and let's just
Also,
talk.
there's way more saving throws based off Dex.
Yeah, absolutely. And like, let's just talk about Accursed Spectre too. It's such a cool ability that when you kill a humanoid, you can cause its spirit to rise from its corpse, and like, it is now your spirit to command. I could just like imagine what that looks like to like stab into someone, kill them, and like raise their spirit out of them, and now they have to fight for you.
Specters are strong too. They have 22 hit points. Their action is Life Drain, +4 to hit, and it does 3d6 necrotic damage. And if they fail a con save, then their hit point maximum is reduced by that.
Yeah. So
That's
yeah.
Scary.
And then
And
armor.
they can move through things.
Yeah. It's super nice. Just get around enemies. You know, cause flanking if you're playing with that homebrew rule. And then Armor of Hexes, if your Hexblade's curse target hits you with an attack roll, you can use your reaction to roll a d6. On a 6 or higher, they miss.
On a 4 or higher.
4 or higher. A 6 or higher. That wouldn't be very good. It's probably a little bit more balanced, because 4 or higher is a 50-50 chance that they won't hit you. And this doesn't have like a restriction or anything like that either. It's just...
Oh,
it just always happens.
You curse a guy, and that's who you're fighting. And if they fight you back, you're good against them.
Yeah. And then
When you curse someone, they need help.
And Master of Hexes is super helpful because, you know, when you kill your Hexblade curse target, you can apply it to someone else 30 feet of you, just like Hunter's Mark. But, you know, it doesn't take your bonus action to move it. So it just kind of rounds out the Hexblade.
But if you move it, you don't get hit points.
Right, that's fair.
But that's not a big deal.
Yeah, exactly. The Hexblade, absolutely an amazing class. Let's throw that up in S. So let's move on from the best one to Undead. How do you feel about it?
S.
S. I agree. I love it.
Undead's great.
Yeah. It's based on mechanic form of dread. It's just great to have.
It's so good.
Yeah. So to start off, as a bonus action, you transform for 1 minute. You gain temporary hit points equal to 1d10 plus your Warlock's level, which is a decent amount, especially at the beginning. 1d10 plus your Warlock's level can be a lot of temporary hit points, depending on how you roll. I guess
up to 30.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's nothing to sneeze at. And then once during each of your turns, when you hit a creature with an attack roll, you can force it to make, and this is during each of your turns, you can force it to make a wisdom saving throw, and if the saving throw fails, the target is frightened of you until the end of your next turn. And you're throwing Eldritch Blast out. Always. So basically every turn you're going to be forcing someone to do a wisdom saving throw and possibly frightening them, which is so powerful.
Yeah. It'll last for a minute. And you could do it equal to your proficiency bonus.
Yep, multiple times, which is awesome.
Even level 1, you can do it for 2 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
That's really useful. This is one of the rare Warlock abilities that doesn't reset on a short rest. But
fair
I'm fine
enough.
with that because it's tied to your proficiency.
Yeah, you can change the appearance of it. I like that they added a little bit of roleplay in there.
Yeah.
And then Grave Touched, you know, it adds that you don't need to eat, drink, or breathe. It's whatever. It's nice for role playing. I've never actually really cared when they add, you know, taking away eat, drinking, or breathing. Breathing's
We
helpful.
never play with it.
That's true.
It's really annoying to play with it, if I'm honest.
Oh yeah.
You need 4 liters of water and a pound of food per day.
Yeah, it's not
Also,
too
a
much.
pound of food is nothing.
No, it's really not. It could
It's
be
like-
more
It's
inconvenient.
like 4 apples.
Well, this could absolutely be a whole video to talk about this.
Yeah.
So in addition, once during each of your turns when you hit a creature with an attack roll and roll damage against a creature, you can replace the damage type with necrotic, which is pretty cool. And then if you're in your form of dread, you can roll 1 additional damage die when determining the necrotic damage, which, you know, combined with your Eldritch Blast, really does add up.
Yeah.
Necrotic Husk, great as well. You gain resistance to necrotic. I'm actually kind of surprised you don't get it earlier, but
It's because they wanted it for this.
that's true. If you're transformed using your form of dread, you instead become immune to the necrotic damage. And you get to become a zealot barbarian. Or a celestial. Warlock. When someone knocks you down to 0 hit points, you can use your action to drop to 1 instead and cause your body to erupt with deathly energy, which does 2d10 plus your warlock level. You gain a level of exhaustion, but you come back to life and you deal a bunch of damage to everyone around you.
Of your choice.
Of your choice. That's a good. Yeah. It is 1d4 long rest as a recharge time, but it's
That's
pretty
fine. If
pretty
you
cool.
went into an encounter that got to the point where you're using this, you probably want to long rest for a while anyway.
Yeah. Absolutely. And then Spirit Projection is also just another great thing. Great addition to the Warlock, and just adds more onto your form of dread and just being an undead warlock in general. It's a great 14th level ability. You have a flying speed too,
Yeah.
which is awesome. You can move through creatures and objects. You basically kind of become a spirit.
Yeah, I like it.
It's cool. It's very fitting. The undead,
I want to play it.
yeah. It's a-
Hexblade is always useful. I multi-class Hexblade all the time. I want to play an undead warlock now.
Mhm.
Like I've always wanted to play any of the warlocks, but like there was just other things that I wanted to play more. I think my next character is probably going to be an undead warlock.
Yeah.
And
makes
actually,
sense.
I had a character take 1 level of undead warlock, but he's stuck in Asgard right now.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Yeah, which is
So-
funny.
So undead, let's throw that in S. I'm glad we both agree on the S ranks. This is going pretty well. We don't disagree much. Let's see if we disagree on Undying, though.
See,
Well, I put this as D. This is my only D.
I'm happy with either.
I
Like-
think I put it at D because I just needed a D, which again,
You
you know,
don't need a D.
well, yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I want to play this more than I want to play any of the D ones for their respective classes.
That's true. It's not that bad.
Yeah, like this isn't I'm never gonna play this. This is depending on the game.
Yeah, that's true. So to go over some of the features for the audience, the spell list is decent. You get Ray of Sickness, Blindness, Deafness, Silence, Aura of Life, Death Ward. It doesn't really excite me that much, to be honest, but it's very fitting for the Undying, like Warlock.
Yeah.
I think Among the Dead is a big... It's just one of those things that's situational. If you don't have a lot of dead in
like-
your campaign, it's going to be bad. We've come across these time and time again. Yeah, they're situational.
Like if you're playing a game where you're going to fight undead all the time, this would be a really fun one. They have this, have like a grave cleric or something, and it'd be really fun.
Yeah. Other than that, it's just, you know, good. Probably the bottom of our list, down with C on choosing it. But it looks like Warlock is pretty positive for subclasses. It's making
Warlock.
it's making me want to play a Warlock, to be honest. Which I don't know how I feel about.
You don't like spellcasters.
Well, I'm enjoying spellcasters, but then
Yeah.
the Warlock, and it's like limiting you to 2 spell slots. And I know it makes up in other ways, but I think I just need to give it a chance at some point.
Well, yeah, you never gave Wizard a chance or Sorcerer or anything like that. Then as soon as you do, now suddenly you love it.
Yeah.
Crazy. You play the different classes, you find out you might like it.
It is crazy. I feel like I needed to work up to the higher level spellcasters, but fair enough.
Yeah, I'm the spellcaster of the group.
Yeah, that's true. You like high level spellcasters, not so much half-casters. But any other thoughts on Warlock subclasses? Pretty
Warlocks
good.
are great. As a DM, it's my favorite class to have in the party.
Yeah.
And as a player, it's really, really fun. It can get boring.
Yeah, I would say it definitely can get boring just with the cantrips.
Don't pigeonhole yourself into only using Eldritch Blast. It gets boring. Eldritch Blast is great. It's hard not to use it because it's so good, but it gets so boring.
Mm-hmm.
Just every time you get into a fight, Eldritch Blast, Eldritch Blast, Eldritch Blast. Okay, I'm done. That's it. You feel really powerful though. If all you want to do is feel powerful, it's great.
Yeah, roll high.
It has the range of a bow with the strength of a fighter.
Yeah.
Like it's just good, but it can get very boring very quick because you don't get many spells. Now, another thing to remember with Warlock though is your spell slots. If you're in a fight, use them. Take a short rest after you get them back.
Yeah,
why aren't you using your spell slots? Use them every fight and then take a short rest after. It's not hard to convince your party, hey, let's just have a little breather after we fought something.
Yeah. I think the Genie is the one that's going to make me really like it, because I can just be like, okay, you just carry me for 10 minutes while I do a short rest and get my spell slots back. I guess I'll be out of the roleplay, but I don't know. 10 minutes is not very long in game.
Well, and at high enough level, you can bring the fighter in with you.
Yeah, that's true.
Which is really useful, because then they also get the short rest. And then you basically just, whoever doesn't get the benefits, have them carry it.
Yeah. So those are all of the Warlock subclasses. Let us know what you think about our ranking. It was pretty positive. There aren't a lot of bad ones. But yeah, let us know what you think. Of course, like and subscribe. We are going to be doing Paladin next. And we also just made videos on Monsters of the Multiverse, all the race changes. So check those out on our channel if you're interested in those changes. Those are also mostly positive. Wizards of the Coast made some really great changes to all of the classic races. I think 30 plus races. So check those out and all the other subclass videos. Thanks for watching. You're gonna do your bye.
Bye.
There we go.
No, I had to.
Well, you always do the bye.
I don't know about that.
At the end of every video, it's a bye.
Bye.